This is Space Kid, and today I'm going to read to you an illustrated tour of the night sky, what we see in the stars. Here's the book. I want a lot more than this list. We live on a planet called Earth, orbiting a sun called the Sun. Orbiting a star called the Sun. In a system called the Solar System, in a galaxy called the Milky Way, in a group of galaxies called the Local Group, which are part of the Virgo supercluster, just one of the millions of superclusters in the observable universe. The official order of Ursa is defined by the star-like shape you see here. The shape of the here, I'm gonna change you guys angles. I'm also trying to be a teacher and a mother, so the shape of the constellation as a traditional image is demonstrated by the dotted lines and the solid lines. Mark is familiar Astra and the Big Dipper. The constellations. Constellations are at once something very old and something very young. We're given them ancient sounding names: Aquarius, Equus, tell me how to pronounce it. You know how. Gurus, based on words from now dead languages, and we're ascribe ancient myths to them, full of God's magic, adventure, and vengeance. What could feel older? But the shapes in the sky are actually, in a sense, temporary. The fact that we see them at all is dependent on our perspective in time and space, because the universe is constantly shifting and changing. If we had to be at another time or place, the stars would look completely different to us. And while the stars that make up constellations appear close together in most cases, their actual position in space aren't close at all. We might see them as flat, but the stars, of course, exist in 3 dimensions. If you could shift your point of view by traveling to a different star, you wouldn't recognize any familiar constellations. It's hard to fathom that these star shapes, which seem to be such fixed parts of our world, are cosmic timescale built in. We don't like to be reminded of our temporary nature, so we cling to the constants that seem sure. When we look up, we want to recognize what we see, and so far we have been able to do just that. This time scale of humanity is tiny in comparison to the scale of the universe. Modern humans have existed for only about 200,000 years, while the universe is currently estimated to be about 13.8 billion years old. The stars have been moving, but so slowly that to all of us, they seem to have hardly moved at all. Our solar system has been moving slowly too. But still, as far back as we can remember, the constellations have looked the way they do today. In astronomy, the term constellation actually refers to the area within a boundary drawn around a section of the sky, not that whole bright group of stars recognizable to the naked eye. Astronomers call those bright groups astronomers? Astronomies, I think. Could be wrong. Many, if not most, constellations contain asteroids of the same name. The constellation boundary of Orion contains bright star shape that of the Orion Hunter. Other constellations recognizable asteroids within their boundaries. The constellation Ursa Major contains the asteroid of the Big Dipper. Though easily recognizable, asteroids like the Big Dipper can be helpful or orienting yourself. As you look at the sky in this book, we will be focusing on constellations defined by the International Astronomical Union, IAU for short. These are boundaries astronomers use to describe where in the sky any particular phenomenon appears, and they encompass the entire sky. The constellations serve as a sort of map legend. We have assigned every star that can be seen from Earth, whether visible to the naked eye or with a telescope, to a particular constellation. That problem is looking at something. Hang on. Other space phenomena are assigned to constellations as well. In astrophysics, might refer to a nova in the constellation of Taurus. Really. Hi. Or even an exoplanet in the constellation of Pegasus. Even though we can't see these deep space objects with our naked eye, we can locate the boundaries of their constellations. Throughout time, cultures all over the world have named and used countless constellations, many overlapping with one another. In 1930, an effort to create a system that could be used internationally by amateur and professional astronomers, the IAU published a universal star map comprising 88 constellations. This system astronomers use today. More than half of the 88 constellations come from the second country when Claudius Ptolemy, a Greco-Egyptian philosopher and astronomer, published an authorized work on the stars called the Ptolemaics. He chose names for the constellations based on references from his culture, so they are rife with figures from ancient Greek mythology. Cool. As well as animals and objects common to the ancient Greeks, many of the names have also had roots in Babylon and Sumerian mythology. European astronomers added the remaining constellations in the 16th and 17th centuries. These additional constellations served to fill in the gaps in the star map that weren't encompassed by the Palladian system, so the entire sky could be divided into constellations. Many names of These most recent constellations refer to new technologies of the time, as well as animals. The European explorers were encouraged for the first time as they sailed the globe to chart the southern skies. Most ancients who studied the stars, including Ptolemy, just points of light embraced in a sphere surrounding the Earth, and that the Earth was the center of cosmos. In fact, belief in a cluster sphere was so strong that many old depictions of constellations were drawn as mirror images of the way we usually see them from Earth. This was meant to represent the way it was imagined the gods outside the sphere would see them. Here's the sphere, by the way. It's kind of hard to see. I'll be reading one more page for night, and I think I'm gonna be done because I might do shorts with a bunch of these other ones. Oh, here's a bookmark of where I actually was a while ago. Okay. Let's finish this. Humans are famous for pattern recognition skills. We are meaning everywhere, whether it's really there or not. Since ancient times, we've noticed groups of bright stars in the sky and categorized them into constellations, even when they bear hardly any similarity to the figure objects they represent. As the bright zigzag, the Cassiopeia rarely looked that much like a throne. How much do the stars that outline Orion, hourglass-shaped body really like a torso? It's no more than a coincidence that the stars are arranged in particular ways as viewed from the Earth. But our desires to find a pattern and meaning in the constellations is in the iteration of a phenomenon called false pattern recognition. Many examples of it can be found throughout the history of astronomy. We recognize ourselves and objects from our world in the stars because of false pattern recognition, and things we see in the stars say a lot about us. To this day, the constellations are still useful to us Earth dwellers. They're a way for us to understand the incredibly complex three-dimensional cosmos in two dimensions. By learning their names and a little bit about their stories connected to their name, we begin to build a vocab to understand and talk about the night sky. Okay. So, tomorrow night I'm going to read again. We'll start reading The Bright Skies. And then we will learn about the poles and stuff. After that, we will hopefully either make it to start to learn about the constellations, or on Saturday night we will start to learn about constellations. So tune in again on those nights. This will be a several-week journey. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's reading. I know it wasn't the best, but I hope you all enjoyed. Good night.